Hello, everyone, and welcome to a brand new episode of Roman's Christmas with your host, Fallenwolf. Oh! So, last time we left off, we had started Roman's Christmas. Roman's Christmas, which is a fantastic, very visual novel, big surprise there, contains a bit of Ace Attorney somewhat. We didn't which, and it's very exciting. Like I said, it gets very interesting. I played a good chunk of it before I decided to record videos for it. The only thing, last part, honestly, I'm going to be honest with people didn't miss too much. We pretty much got introduced to about half of the total amount of main characters we're going to get introduced to, as well as the fact that we also did a trial case, which was the first time I did it, because when I first played this, I skipped the trial case that lets you kind of get a feel for how the trials will be. Not intentionally. I didn't realize that there was actually a trial if you decide to stick around and listen to Anzak. So this is going to be interesting. I'm very excited to see what happens next. I'm probably going to be making different choices than I made the last time, and it's going to be kind of interesting. But with that being said, we're going to be playing this. Of course, this is Roman's, right now, this is going to be part 2. I am going to give a heads up for these videos. Roman's Christmas is kind of long with the trials. I'm estimating each video is going to probably be about an hour or so. So, just let you know now, these videos for Roman's Christmas are going to be pretty hefty. If I don't do them like that, though, then, because if I don't do them like that, then the thing is, I'm going to have so many videos, and I don't want to have another Familiar Travels, I'm going to be honest, I'm thinking it's going to be about 50, 55 episodes total by the time I'm finished. Maybe 50, because I'm skipping some stuff. I think by the time Familiar Travels gets done, I'm going to have about 50 videos, which is going to be ridiculous. And I don't want this to become a 50-page, thing. So, that is the reason why they're about an hour, so hopefully people will stick around, though. Alright, but enough of that. And before anybody says it, yes, I know, it is past Christmas time. It's the alternate universe where Christmas doesn't happen yet. I know that Christmas is over now and we're heading into the new year, but you can pretend. I did at least start this before Christmas came, so. In my dreams, I could hear a voice coming from downstairs. The sound reverberated through the empty hall, as if I were lying in the cradle when I was a child, hearing my mother hum an unknown lullaby. But the tune of music had a kind of disharmony that was distinctly sinister. Sort of like when you open your eyes only to find your cradle dangling off the edge of a cliff. Roman, that is very descriptive. You didn't just pull that out of your butt. That's very descriptive. The strange midnight music was unsettling, like something dark and ominous was about to spring out of the shadows to grab me. Do you want to go downstairs and have a look? I don't know, after you said, all that ominous stuff, the music made you feel like it was like you were on a cradle about to fall off a cliff. I don't know. I'm gonna save first. Also, I'm gonna have to start rewriting saves. Because, yeah, I have a lot of saves. Well, I'm gonna go downstairs first. I can't sleep anyway. Yeah? Fortunately, that cheap old bastard Tarzan didn't forget to oil the hinges. The door opened without making a loud sound. I crept bare-pawed down the stairs, holding the handrail as I slowly descended. My footpaws gently fell on the carpet of the stairs. Fortunately, it seemed that whoever was downstairs hadn't noticed me. The music continued. There were no lanterns or candles lit downstairs. The only light came from the wavering flames of the fireplace, and my shadow danced on the wall as I went. I clutched a dagger behind my back and slipped down the last few steps. There was a familiar shadow in the chair in front of the fireplace. How do I do this? Stay still. Be quiet. Hey! I clutched the dagger in case the shadow suddenly attacked me. Oh, I'm terribly sorry. I did not try to play too loudly. Oh, it's Anzik. Ooh, okay. It's Anzik. You scared the hell out of me. I thought some maniac had snuck in the middle of the night. A murder being announced by a musical cue only happens in the theater, detective. Money to go see a play. Alas, I don't. If I did, I would have rented a room to myself. SARS didn't make such a racket when he sleeps that sharing the same room with him is more uncomfortable than sharing a bed with my parents. Says the dragon who's practicing his lute at midnight. I pity any roommate you have. It's not that. I just remembered something and couldn't sleep. He fell back on his chair and looked up at the ceiling. Feel like talking about it? Anzik opened his mouth as thought to disagree, but stopped before he could utter a syllable. I can't sleep anyway. Would you care to listen to my newest composition? I could use some feedback. It was less of a request than more of a non-negotiable statement, like a shopkeeper announcing he was closed. Okay. If nothing else, it'll be more enthralling than snooping around and spying on people. Better to hear a good story instead, I think. Anza cleared his throat and began to speak. Oh, I got an achievement for that. Achievement unlocked bad time story. As the king awoke in the comfort of his soft bed in his country estate, his only thought was to slay the dragon. Taking neither servant nor soldier, he hurriedly raced to the aged capital of his kingdom. As he entered the stately halls of his palace, he drew his sword and approached the throne. The dragon sneered down upon the king, its scaled coils encircling the swollen throne. The king could not help but tremble, but did not flee. With a mighty shout, the king lunged with his sword, but the blade was deflected on instant. He had lost his balance and fallen to the throne. He cursed his weakness and the poison that ate at him. The great thief that sat upon the throne glared down upon him with contempt in his eyes. If only he had supped at the accursed banquet, he knelt and tried to support himself. The king in his sorrow regretted his failure to see through such a falsehood. Perhaps he should not have trusted anyone from Daggook, that country of thorns and poison, where every person from the paupers to the princes were villains. In fact, even before he drew his sword, he knew he could not hurt the guy. No dragon could harm someone who had served the tears of envy the third. It was like an instant. No, like a too-tight harness. Using his sword like a crutch to support his body, the king limped out of the palace. A poison that manipulated the mind could only confound the mind of one person, but no one can truly deceive the people. The old king staggered away towards the border of his kingdom, and behind him followed the citizens of Draconia. Alright, that's it. Last I checked, Donzik, everyone loves hearing stories about justice and victory. I'm not sure this is gonna sell. I'd like to change it to a happy ending, but for some reason every time I attempt to change it, I'm interrupted by some distracting trifle. The quill will break, or the ink pot will run low, or I'm informed that dinner's ready. Or it's nearly dawn and you haven't actually slept. We both yawned at the same time. Perhaps I should retire for the night? Good night. We went back to our respective rooms. No. Well, that was an interesting story. I kind of like Anzik. Anzik's not a bad guy. Just a bard trying to make some money. Sing good songs. Day 2, December 24th, 1285. For the rest of the night, I slept comfortably and dreamlessly. The first day of my holiday. Looks like I get to spend my Christmas holiday with a half-mad bard and a mysterious adventurer in a tavern in the middle of nowhere, and eat nothing but vegetarian dishes all day long. Truly, such extravagance would make even the Pope himself jealous. I like Roman's sarcastic nature. Oh man, Roman's funny, sarcastic. He's very sarcastic. There was a thick layer of snow on the windowsill, but it was sunny outside. I held the handrail of the stairs and went down slowly. I could hear the sound of wooden cups knocking on tables from the hall, and the smell of barley spread throughout the fire-warmed air. Sure enough, more guests came as soon as it was sunny. Oh, is this a shark? What's your name, sir? Finally up, eh? God, it must be nice to have a cushy, smart guy job where you don't have to wake up before dawn. Oh, come on, I only get to sleep late during the holidays. I scratched my disheveled hair a few times. Lannis, why are you here so early? Ooh, character info, hold up. What is his character? Lannis. A shark, he worked as a porter at the wharf. Huh. Can actually save, too. Lannis, why are you here? Lannis. Oh, hold on, people. Give me a second. Alright, everyone. I'm back. Sorry about that. Anyway, where were we? Oh, that's right. We were looking at this very strong, tall, and muscular shark. You don't really get to see sharks that often in, you don't really often get to see furry. Well, I guess technically not furry, but you know what I mean. You don't usually really get to see shark main characters. So, this is very interesting. I'm sure to many of you out there. Lannis, why are you here so early? Nope. Oh, stop. Everything keeps moving. Stop moving. The dog's completely frozen. It's either be bored at home or come drinking at the tavern. I'm trying to make the accent not sound Australian, so if it sounds Australian, I apologize. I'm trying my best to get it. I'm trying my best to do a Wales impression. If it's not good, I'm sorry. I'm not a master voice actor. He reached out and clasped hands with me, squeezing tight. What the hell? I still need that hand, you know. Maybe you should exercise more. How you gonna catch criminals if you can't even take a handshake? Lannis clapped me on the shoulder as he spoke. Easy. I'm just messing with you. So are you gonna stay here during the Christmas holiday? I figured someone like you would go on a trip or something. Ow. Well, I can't travel with these injuries. I think you broke something important. Maybe I should put you out of your misery then. No thanks. If you pat me to death, you'll just ruin Sarzen's business. Lannis grinned and raised a hand just as Sarzen poked his head out of the kitchen. Remember, Lannis, if you keep messing around, I'll throw you out. Not everyone here is as big, buff, and tough as you, sailor. For example, Peter. Hey, don't look down on me! Oh, Peter, no! Oh, poor baby. Peter slapped his hands on the table. And stood up. But it's true, I mean, I've never seen Lannis lay a finger on you. That's because he knows he can't mess with me. Really? Want to take me on, Fluffy? No, I don't want to end up losing control and breaking you in half. Aww. Psh, either do it or shut up. Oh. Well, it's not like my body's weaker than yours. Alright, there are some things that don't have to be forced. Oh, why must different races be so different? At least everyone is the same in a legal sense. What's the use? I don't need to deal with criminals every day like you. The law is unequal and it is my business. Besides, what else is the same in a legal sense? Booze, money, and room charges? Those aren't even legally mandated. That's just you being an opportunist. Speaking of opportunists, hey, Kane, did you find another job yet? Well, a few days ago, the cook at this small restaurant nearby quit because of the low salary. I figured I'd go and try my luck. I mean, it's a long shot, given how many times I've been canned in the past. Maybe try to get a hold of your temper. No one will dare to hire you if you have another attack. If you could control your temper, perhaps Sarzen would hire you as a kitchen assistant in the busy season. Look, if keeping my temper was as easy as you said, then I wouldn't have gotten kicked out of so many. It's okay. Nobody in the world is perfect. I better comfort him a bit, or I'll just end up blowing up later. I just want everything to go smoothly this time. Kane started to drink alone. Aww. So we've got a bull, or I think it was a bull. A bull has a temper, big, buff, manly shark. We got a rabbit with a size inferiority complex. I probably said that word. I probably butchered that word, but it's okay. Seems that everyone hasn't changed much. It's the same as last year when I couldn't get a case and spent a lot of time in taverns. Ah, the good old days. Sure, being broke and staring at an empty wallet hurt, but in the company of my friends, life didn't seem to be so sad. That is a good life lesson. That's a very good life lesson. I mean, it still sucks to be broke, but having friends is a fantastic thing. Noted for all the people here. Make sure you always take care of your friends, because you never know what they're dealing with. Never know what they're dealing with. What should I do now? And this is the big part of the game that's going to suck for trials. You get a map and you can go wherever you want. Pretty much wherever you want. Alright, let's talk to everybody. Let's continue to chat in the lobby. Alright, I'm going to be talking to everybody. Maybe I should get a cup of ale to soothe my throat before I start talking too much. Alright, so we're going to go to the kitchen, I guess. I raised the board that separated the counter and hall and squeezed through the narrow passage. Sometimes I wonder how Sarzen can cram something to such a small space. I poked my head through the curtain. Sarzen was washing the dishes, but stopped and turned to me. Alright, let's talk to Sarzen. Let's get some ale. What's the matter, Roman? Cup of ale, please. I'm a bit thirsty after chatting all morning. Mind if I help myself to some ale? Okay, just remember to turn off the tap. I took out a mug from under the counter and slipped into the cellar. After filling my mug, I took a sip and considered my next course of action. Ale, the lubricant of both minds and tongues. I raised the board that separated the counter and hall. Okay, I read that already. Sarzan was cleaning the dishes. Alright, let's talk to Sarzan. Ask about Elegant's room. Elegant's still staying here, right? I wonder which room is hers. The third room on the right. Thanks. Oh, okay. Very, very forthcoming with that information. Okay, that was very quick. All right, let me talk to everybody in the lobby. Who am I talking to? Let's talk to Anzik first. I sat by Anzik and helped my cup. Anzik's eyes were bloodshot, and he didn't say a word to me. Seems that he hasn't gotten out of last night's mood. His head dropped slowly, and thumped against the tabletop. Looks like sleep deprivation to me. Did he sleep any last night? Anzik. I slowly reached for the loot he was holding. Don't touch it! Gah! He woke up to that, though. My paw touched the instrument. Anzik jerked to life with a screech. In response, Sarzan suddenly ran out of the kitchen with a half-clean pan in his grip. Oh, it's just Anzik again. Shout for me if something important actually happens. Oh, no! You scared me half to death. Roman, don't just go touching my loot without asking. I didn't know you'd react like that. It was so close. We were both going to be thrown out. What's the matter? Discuss about Elegant. What do you think about Elegant? Well, she doesn't seem fond of idle chit-chat. And when do nuns show up in taverns? Maybe she's looking for wayward souls to shame or something. Could it be Anzik might know why Elegant? Maybe Sarzan asked her to come over to sing Christmas carols. Never mind. Come up with any new songs recently? Anzik, had you heard any new songs recently? Yes. I do like the music, though. Sounds good. The fee is 1 silver receipt, please. You're greedier than Sarzan. Nothing special. Well, you're welcome to take a seat and have a drink with me. Okay, let's talk to Peter. I sat across from Peter at his table. Peter looked up at me. Roman, do you think there is such a thing as true fairness? Still struggling with the same problem, eh? Compared to a lot of places in the world, Apollyon is pretty fair. Where else could you see so many different species being friendly in the same tavern? This place is the exception, not the rule. There are dozens of restaurants and taverns in the capital which only serve meat-eating mammals. Although it's forbidden by law, they always have ways to avoid it. They just tell the inspectors that, wonder of wonders, there were no herbivore customers that day, or the day's special just happens to be grilled veal. You know, most of the inspectors are carnivores too. So even if the reasons are just bald-faced lies, they can still get away with it. There are so many injustices in life. Why do we pretend not to see them? Apollyon is still young and things take time to change. Not everyone has the time to wait. Aww. Alright, Linus. I took my mug and sat opposite of Linus. Oh, poor Peter, though. Peter's such a he's so nice, but he's got... Before you start, I'll pass on the shoulder smack. Linus, half standing, took his hand back and slowly scratched his hand embarrassedly. Sorry. Old habits and such. It's just a friendly greeting is all. That's one way to put it, I guess. Looking to chat or something? Life by the sea, down by the sea, down while it's wet under the sea. Da 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 da. Okay, I'm gonna stop for your copyright strike. I'm a little bit curious about how life by the sea is like. Life by the sea? That's nothing special. You know how most folks like you visit the sea on holiday? It's kind of the opposite for us. It's nice to get someplace far away from the brine and constant motion. Us sea folks are so used to the terrifying waves of the sea, it's kind of relaxing to enjoy the inland life for a while. After all, it's not like the earth will rise up out of the blue and swallow your house and everyone in it. That's not impossible. Haven't you heard of earthquakes? The sea's like that all the time, and earthquakes only happen every so often. Have you been to those taverns over there? I came in and had a look when I was handling a case. Then you saw the fish hooks and fishing nets they like to hang on the back wall behind the counter. You scared of fish hooks? You would be too if you were a shark. Alright, I guess that's it. That's all. Seems like you didn't drink enough, so you ran out of talking material, eh? Alright, and Kane. I took my mug and sat down opposite of Kane. It looked like Kane didn't notice me as he scooped up a spoonful of stew and watched it dribble back into the bowl. I can't blame Tarzan. What? Stopping his hands, Kane looked up at me. Nothing. I just feel Tarzan's cooking skill. I don't think it's not bad. Indeed, this vegetable stew is excellent, by the standards of carnivore. Other carnivores won't taste anything weird. I don't want to sound like a herbivore supremacist or anything, but I still think that it's better to leave cooking vegetable dishes to people like us. I can almost hear the radish in the stew screaming from the mistreatment. You're rude when you cook beef. Our relationship isn't that bad, is it? Of course. Then, if I ask you a sensitive question, you won't get angry at me? How could I be angry with you? What is it? Well, do you have some, unique feelings when you cook steaks? You have no idea how many carnivores ask me that same question. What do you think about wolves? The ones that walk with 4 legs, I mean. There was a stuffed wolf head as a wall hanging in my old house, but other than that, I don't have much of an opinion. If you're fine with a stuffed wolf head, then I'm fine with cooking steaks. After all, it's not like the meat came from someone I know. So this is definitely a world where there are, I will call them evolved animals and non-evolved animals. Okay. Interesting lore. Extracurricular activities. I don't know if people remember me playing on this channel. Extracurricular activities is the same thing. Like, there's meat exists in the world. It's just like there's some animals, I guess, that are evolved and some that aren't. Which would be very interesting in modern society if something like that happened. I'll go to the restroom and comb my hair. I wet my hands, posed for a better angle, and combed my hair carefully in the mirror. Oh, he looks so happy. By the way, I have like all the pictures, so I don't need to save them. He looks so happy. Falling gray hairs fluttered down like snow from my scalp, eventually landing in the wash bin. Shedding season already passed, obviously. Even those falling hairs had regrown in the winter. Maybe I should take care of myself better the next time I get busy. The last thing I need is to look terrible in front of clients. Okay, there's nothing here, I guess. Alright, we've explored the downstairs. Let's go upstairs. Corridor? There's no one in the corridor. Okay. Let's check out the attic. The attic was Tarzan's room, though Anzik was also living there temporarily. There weren't any stairs between the 3rd floor and the attic, only a ladder that went up and down. The ladder was usually pulled up into the attic, but you could use the rope connected to the top of the ladder by a pulley to bring it down. The rope, which was set between the 2nd and 3rd room on the left, dangled loosely. The ladder would drop down if someone pulled on the rope in order to get upstairs. I really shouldn't enter Tarzan's room without permission. By the way, this is very important information. When you see something like that where it's like a zoom in, it's important information. Keep track of it in case for people that decide to buy this VN, which I would highly recommend. I think it's only like $11.99. That's real cheap. Normal price is like $11.99. It's well worth it. You'll have a few hours gameplay. Alright, so who else can I talk to? Because I've talked to all of them. Stop chatting for now. The kitchen again? Okay. Is there any way to talk to? I already asked him about that. Okay. I feel like I talked to everybody, right? Oh, can I go back to my room, I guess? Because Roman's room? Better return to my own room and do something else. Okay. What do I want to do? We are not going to do a brief history because you will fall asleep. We will take a nap. No, taking a nap is better. Too lazy to take off my boots. I'll just lie here for a while. Rest for a short time. Okay. Okay, I rested. Go back downstairs. Back to the hall, I guess? No, that didn't do anything. Huh. Okay, I guess I have to read the book? Do I have to read the book? Oh, ooh, elegant. There we go. I knocked on the door of the 3rd room on the right. Who is it? It's me, Roman. Is there something the matter? Purpose of disguise. Just wanted to ask a quick question. Huh? Elegant opened the door and stood there, looking at me expectantly. Her hand didn't leave the doorknob. I wanted to know why you dressed like that. I asked in a low voice. Do you wonder about the reason which I dress like this, or are you questioning the motive? Why not both? Elegant stepped away a bit, leaving enough room for me to squeeze through the door sideways. Not sure if I should try. Her body language and expression suggested she wasn't looking for company. Would you rather stand at my door and speak? You are aware of the recent arrivals downstairs, are you not? She moved back again further. I slipped into the room and she shut the door behind me. They're regular here. Decent people. You don't need to be worried about them. They may be decent individuals in this place, but that does not mean they are so outside of it. You have already seen through my disguise, so I feel no need to hide. The same cannot be said of them. As of this moment, the only ones I trust are Sarzin and you. I didn't realize I was included. It's an honor. I just do not consider you to be a threat. Ooh. There is no great reason why I'm here. I got a big job in the last tavern. I don't suppose you'd be willing to share next time. Only if you accept the 90-10 split for the fee. Do I get the 90? Elegant cleared her throat and continued. Are you familiar with the Cathedral of St. Isaac? What's that? A cathedral under the diocese, currently under construction in the capital. 12 years ago, there was a disaster when one of the central pillars collapsed. The noble brothers who were supervising the construction site, the elder is called Brando, and the younger's name is Jonathan, were buried under the rubble. According to reports of one of the junior clergy to the local abbot, the collapse was caused by the brothers who had lined their pockets by using substandard materials and cheating the workers. So the story proved to be the perfect tool to persuade others to donate. After all, everyone fears the punishment of God. People are willing to give up anything, as so long as they avoid the flames of hell. According to reports of one of the junior clergy to the local abbot, the collapse was caused by the brothers who had lined their pockets by using substandard materials and cheating the workers. So I'm guessing you were hired to investigate further? Yes. Now that I have settled in, I plan to insinuate myself into the cathedral. Your client didn't tell you to come to the White Star, did they? Of course, travelers and mercenaries tend to stop in at taverns such as these as they travel. You know as well as I that the tavern rumor mill is awash with contacts and ways to exchange information. But why spend so much money investigating a closed case about something involving the church? That is neither my problem nor my concern. Take the job, perform the job, take the payment. Anything else is immaterial. I do not concern myself with any secrets my client may have. Elegant turned and opened the door. It seemed that she was counting my questions as immaterial as well. Elegant turned and looked back to me, waiting silently. Well, sorry to bother you. I left quickly and sensibly. The door shut behind me with a click. Well, she was not... Elegant was not very friendly at all. Starting to wonder starting to get a little worried about her. Right. Can I go back downstairs now? Is there anything happening yet? Okay, chat to get it. Oh, here we go. New stuff. It's nearly lunchtime. Go have lunch or chat some more. I already chatted with everybody, right? So let's have lunch. Let me have some lunch. It smells like vegetable stew. I've got good news and bad news. The good news is that Kane decided to bust into my kitchen and, quote, show you idiots what actual vegetable stew is like. Luckily for you guys, he cooked the stew before I managed to hurl him out onto the street. The bad news is today's lunch is vegetable stew. You don't have any smoked fish? Sorry, you ate the last of it yesterday. Anyway, bon appetit. I stirred the stew with my spoon and the thick soup swirled slowly into the bowl. Landis was holding the bowl to his face and dumping the liquid into his open maw. That really can't be a healthy way to eat anything. Kane ate his masterpiece contentedly without any hesitation while glancing at me secretly from time to time. I lowered my head immediately and had a few bites. It's nice to relax by the fire in the afternoon. The snow was falling again outside, so Sarzin needed to sweep the snowflakes which were blown from the doorway. Soft snow heaped on the street and muffled all sound. like when you block up your ears with soft cotton. Everything bad or unpleasant, from outside disputes to bad ideas, is muffled by the snow. The slightly sweet scent of fresh air, chilled by the winter cold, lingers in the nose. The wind, heavy with floating snow, tapped the wooden door enough that a band of sunlight could shine through the gap and across the wall. Suddenly, the door swung open. Ah, it's so cold! Wait, no. I don't know. Who is this? I don't know what kind of voice to give them. Ah, it's so cold. Could I get something to warm me up? I don't know what voice to give. I know this character. I'm trying to think of what voice to give him. A fluffy white fur dragon staggered in, dragging a suitcase that was almost as big as he was and leaning on a cane. What's a child doing out in the snow like this? Well, hurry up, boy. Come on in and have a rest. Don't call me boy! Would a child be carrying this? He produced a medical license from his pocket and brandished it up at Sarzan like a dagger. Sarzan frowned as he read it. Oh, my apologies, Master Doctor. Please forgive my rudeness. The last thing I need is to freeze to death before I get back to my clinic. I'll just be waiting for the snow to calm down. Of course, please warm yourself by the fire. I'll carry your things. Sarzan tried to lift the suitcase, then let out a labored groan as he shifted it. What in God's name? So heavy. The dragon took off his thick and heavy coat, climbed into the chair opposite me, and reclined with a sigh of full contentment. Greetings, I'm Furry, a physician by trade. He rose slowly and stretched out his right hand. I returned the handshake. Roman, it's a pleasure. Maybe I'll be your patient in the future. His lips convulsed slightly. I hope that day never comes. His hands were covered with soft white fur from the palm to the back of his hands. The stray snowflakes which he brought from the outside were melting on his fur. He looked like he'd fit right in with some of Sarzan's paintings. Now then, where in the blazes am I? I never passed by here. The only reason I managed to spot this place was the lamp outside. This is the White Star Tavern. The white dragon looked at me with confusion. The Villa District? Villa District, my word! Well, I hadn't expected to get quite so lost. He shrugged his shoulders and looked around. Just then, the door shook violently and gave the blizzard access to the inside of the room. The falling snowflakes flew up and down with the invading storm. At the same time, someone cursed loudly in the cellar. Mind your language. There was a child. Oh, fuck off! I'm not a child! The gale howled outside. If someone were to go out now, he'd be mad or suicidal. Normally, shutting the door was an easy task, but became much harder than usual in the situation. The snow from the crack whirled across my nose and eyes. I shut the door with all my strength and found a chair to block it up. Phew. As I moved to sit back down, the door hinges creaked loudly as someone rattled the knob. What the... Oh, hell. There was a hyena lying there, wrapped tightly in a thin, hooded robe. This is a tavern. Please, I humbly ask for shelter and a warm hearth. May I stay? He crawled to his feet in embarrassment as I shrugged as an answer, and pointed to the cellar, just as another crash echoed from within. I'm not the boss. I can't call the shots. Perhaps the owner will show kindness and not hurl me into the street. He took off the robe on the back of a chair, then kicked back and leaned heavily. The partly suspended chair groaned under the pressure. Sorry to keep you waiting, going so soon, Doctor. Sergeant stood in the doorway to the cellar with mugs of ale in his hands as Thurver was getting up from the chair. I'm not feeling well and want to find a place to rest. Do you have any available rooms? Oh, how strange. Thurver looked just fine seconds ago, but now he looks pale and weak. Damn it, I keep hitting the buttons. I keep hitting buttons. Stop hitting the buttons. Hold on. Sorry about that. I keep hitting buttons. Let me think. I haven't cleaned the other rooms yet. Otherwise, I can offer the space I have in the attic. Thurvey walked to the stairs quickly, politely refusing the cup Sarzan offered. Thank you, but I'm a little queasy at the moment. My stomach is a bit too delicate for alcohol. Well, no need to waste such fine ale. Sarzan stared in surprise as the hyena plucked the mug from his hand without hesitation and intended to drink. Hold on, you're a friar, aren't you? Perhaps he's also pretender like elegant. Don't bother with such rigid rules. 'Tis far nobler to not waste the gifts granted by God. Well, how should I address you? Sergeant crossed out a whole line on the bill with his pencil, then added a few words. It seems like you don't go to church on weekends, or you know my name. I would go, but seeing as I'm the only one working at this tavern, I don't have much chance, excuse me. With a slight frown, Tarzan turned back and quickly retreated into the kitchen. I suppose that he would stay there for a long time. Oh, I just remembered. I have something important to do. Goodbye. What else is more important than rescuing your soul, my child? Come now, stay. At the moment I touched the star railing, the hand I had pinned my hand with a smile. The blink of the cross which hung on his chest was dazzling. Well, so much for escaping. What's your name? I believe I've never seen your face before in my church. I'm not in this parish. That doesn't matter. Even though we are from different parishes, all of us are the same family. I'm Father Heron. Nice to meet you. I stretched out 3 fingers and gingerly shook his hand. I'm Roman. Nice to... He interrupted me before I could get a word in edgewise and began to make a speech without any pause, gesturing towards me excitedly. Oh, this is why I freaking hate people like this in religion. I have nothing against religion, but I just hate people like this. Tell me, child, do you know where we will go after death? I'm sure you never think about that. Look, and I really am. In all seriousness, I don't mind people having their own religion. Hey, if you want to have your own religion, that's great. But please, why do people force the religion on other people? It's like, listen, it's like, if somebody shows interest, then by all means, explain to them what your religion is. Explain to them basic concepts that they can understand. But please, do not force your religion on somebody else. Even if you think that you're, quote, even if you think you're, quote, saving their souls. How to settle your audiences to sleep. I wouldn't go that far. Oh, jeez, Roman, that's terrible. I wasn't going that far, but all right. How to settle your audiences to sleep. Step 1, ask a question and answer it yourself. He let go of my hand and I quickly climbed the stairs. Furry was standing in the corridor and staring blankly up at the ceiling. Surely there's some way to... Here, leave it to me. I went ahead and untied the knot step by step. This white dragon watched as I untied the strings from the wooden handle quietly beside me. Okay, I got it. Next step is just... Release the rope slowly. I put the ropes down step by step. The ladder dropped slowly with a squeak from pulleys. Finally, the ladder descended between us. Ah, so that's the trick. Thank you. It seems like you are familiar with this place. I'm a regular customer, so I know a few things about this place. The white dragon caught hold of the handrail of the ladder and tried his best to climb up the very steep steps. The spacing of the ladder's rungs were suitable for someone of Tarzan's size, so it was a little large for him. The nightstand was half opened. I moved quickly, pulling open the drawer and began searching. My wallet was still there, as were my magnifying glasses and their fleece bag, the evidence case from the crime scene. I rummaged through the sundries I had stored in there, my hand dipping down into the drawer. Finally, my finger touched a cold and hard object buried deep among the linens. There it is. I tucked the case back down deep underneath my things and stuffed everything back in the drawer. I quietly cursed the lack of a lock. The cheap bastard Tarzan must have thought nobody would bother to rob his guests. Imagine that. Nothing was lost, but I know I didn't leave the drawer open. It was elegant! It was elegant! I'm calling it now. I bet you it was elegant. Think, who had access to my room after lunch? Only 2 can be excluded. Who didn't have the chance to enter my room after lunch? Sergeant and Heron. No, Furry and Heron. Heron, he chattered without a stop in front of me since he got here. He may have made a bad impression, but it wasn't him. But Furry, it's not impossible to enter my room before I came in. Sergeant managed everything on the time from downstairs, so he didn't have time to go upstairs till now. Excluded. As for everyone else, I'll need to investigate. I locked the door and went downstairs. Oh, who is this? Is this a Linux cat? It's a Linux, right? Well, what else would you like to order? That's enough. Thank you for the warm hospitality, good sir. Lennox, who just came in, swept off his thick coat and casually dropped it into Heron's arms as he walked past. "What are you doing, child? I am not a coat rack." Sargent took the coat from Heron's hands and quickly hung it from the progressively more overburdened coat rack. Heron let out an offended huff, then walked over to the fireplace and sat down, the fur on his back raised and heckled. The Lennox walked towards me as he adjusted his collar, meeting me at the bottom of the stairs. Hello there. Just call me Vincel." He reached into the pocket of his fancy puffy sleeve topcoat and produced something with a flourish. It was a scroll about the size of a finger with smooth-edged paper wrapped around a varnished wooden core. Vincel Link, Spices and Herbs, Apollo Inn, 21B King Street, Alletttown. That explained a few things. The sky smelled of money. I am Roman, the detective that... Splendid, Mr. Roman. Might I take your contact details later? I may have some need for a detective in the future. Well, if you want to. I tucked the scroll into my pocket and wiped the sweat on my hand on the suit. I can provide you my address once you're settled in. I stepped out of the way so Vincel could trot upstairs. Sargent followed him with his luggage. People nowadays... Howard was muttering something to himself as he turned to me. I believe he said something about thorns in the road to salvation earlier, Father. You... Howard's words stuck in his throat at the sight of Sargent coming downstairs. I'll prepare dinner. Feel free to chat. Sargent lifted the curtain and went to the kitchen, leaving me and Heron in the room together, alone. I quickly moved, reaching for the easiest excuse to get away from the hiney before he pounced. I'm gonna leave an address for him. We can talk later. I rushed to the stairs before he could object. Vincel stood at the door to his room. I don't suppose it's a coincidence that your room is right next to mine, Mr. Vincel? I thought you'd be staying in the suite at the end of the corridor. The rooms are all the same, my good wolf. It's not as if I have much in the way of luggage. He stepped over to the doorway and leaned on it, motioning me over with a constant mild smile. Here you are, just right here. I accepted the sharpened quill and jotted down the address of my office on the paper he gave me. By the way, everyone, I told you, this VN is very long, and it's very hard to figure out where to stop at, but I'm pretty sure I know where to stop at. But like I said, I'll try to keep these videos I'll try to keep these videos around an hour. I don't want to make them too long, because then at that point I might as well just stream it. Though I called it my office, it was just the parlor of the flat that I rented. If a client came without a reservation, they'd be shocked by the casual atmosphere there. I didn't always have the time or energy to sweep or clean up after myself. It costed me more than one client's business. He tucked the paper into the pocket where he put the scroll, then gave me a finger wave goodbye. Funny, I'd expected something more, like the scent of exotic spices or fancy cologne at least. Or maybe that was just me expecting something more ostentatious. Oh, here's Kane. It's snowing heavily out there. Kane tightened the lock and dusted off his hands. You're bloody lucky it's a holiday, so I don't need to be in a hurry going back. Why not stay here until the snow is lighter? Just think of it as being on a case with me. Bugger off, as if anyone would accompany you. I told you not to come in when I had my door locked tonight. No need to be rude. You wanted to talk. You forgot to buy my drink after that case I helped you with. Alright, okay, I'll treat you soon. What's your poison? Ale? Wine? Of course it's ale. No, Linus, you can tell Linus is a drinker. Linus just came darting. He was like, zoom! As soon as he heard, like, oh, free liquor? Free liquor? Who's going to treat someone to some ale? Linus emerged from the door at the end of the corridor. Hold on, everyone. Hello, everyone. Sorry about that. I'm back. I had to, you won't see it, but I had to go leave for a minute to go do something. But now I'm back. So let's keep going. Are you up to your gills in coins? How come you could pay for the quarter suite? Heh, you only pay if you stay the night. That explains it. We walked downstairs one by one. I told you not to come into the kitchen. I'm busy. Zarzan was leaning out of the kitchen with a stern glare. But my child, isn't the redemption of the soul more? Last I checked, you can't feed customers with redemption. Now stay out. I'm pretty sure you can't just command Petey. I took the seat beside Heron, he scooted over to give me some more room. Maybe you should just take it easy for the night. I haven't done my endeavor if I haven't converted everyone. Everyone here is a pious believer. Just, if that were true, you'd be in the pews at Sunday's service. I would just as soon as criminals stopped committing crimes on Sunday. Crime is merely a symptom of moral wickedness. If more people prayed... Last I checked, Father Heron, praying doesn't solve everything. Oof! Got him! Nailed him! Got him! What do you have to say to that, Father Heron? Indeed, for worldly matters, we must rely on the benefits of worldly assistance. Unnoticed, Elegant had already come downstairs and claimed a seat across the table from Heron. Even the most righteous may fall into equity and ruin if they casually mingle with those steeped in sin. Then perhaps you should worry more about your own righteousness. After all, you only risk further degeneration if you casually mingle with us sinners. You want some supper to go along with your moral philosophy? Sarzan slapped 2 bowls of carrot stew in front of me and Heron. The soup sloshed from the bowl and landed on the table. Bon appetit. When he served the stew to Vincel, it was refused by a hasty wave of the hand, so he served the stew to Elegant. Perhaps I've been a bit prickly. You're not the only one. Bon appetit. Do you really have to imitate him? Elegant's got very snarkiness to her, and I love Roman's sarcastic nature. It began to grow dark. Snow puddled on window sills and in front of the door, and the pavement had all but vanished. Anzik strummed in stanches of melody in his corner, just like every bard stuck in an inn by heavy snow. Looks like we have to stay overnight. Do I got time to change to a smaller room so I can save some money for ale? Maybe go without ale for the night. Do you know 2 places without ale? Jail and hell. That's why I come to the tavern. It's the furthest place from both. Lannis took the seat at the bar and moved to scratch the countertop. The change is okay. In this kind of weather, every guest counts. Sarzan slid a mug to Lannis across the counter. Drink up, but scratch my bar, and I'll take it out of your hide. Hello? A muffled voice came from behind the door. Are we getting some more characters? How many characters we got already? This really is going to become murder mystery. We got even more characters. Hello? Is there anyone in there? Continual knocks came through the snow-buried door, attracting everyone's attention. The snow was piled up high as my hips. Who would be knocking at this time of night? Everyone kept silent. Lannis moved in front of the candle to hide it. Please, our carriage is stuck in the snow. How many of you are there? Sarzan opened the partition and squeezed himself out from behind the counter. He kept his left hand concealed in his coat. 3, but please, we have money. We just want somewhere we can pass the night. I can see only one. Sarzan grimaced, then cracked the door open to peek out. My master and mistress are still in the carriage. Come on in, then. Sarzan pushed the door wider, allowing a thin figure to stagger inside with a gust of wind. Snow. Oh, is that a ram? I think it's a goat, because it doesn't have, like, the curled horns. Thank God! The wheels were stuck in the snow, and our horses panicked and broke their legs. If we hadn't seen the light of the tavern, I don't know what we would have done. Thank me later. I'll go rescue the other 2. I'll give you a hand. Oh my gosh, these voices are gonna be so hard to do. I gotta do so many voices. I got even more characters to do. Sarzan and Lannis took their coats and went out the door, though Lannis' coat didn't seem to fit him well. Phew, is there any way I can warm myself? The goat patted the snow off his coat and shuffled over to the fireplace. I'm surprised you made it this far with the way you're shivering. It's too cold for being near the capital. Ridiculous. But by the way, my name is Sean. I'm Roman. Nice to meet you. I didn't feel comfortable shaking the hand of someone trembling so hard. Luckily, he seemed more focused on warming his hands by the fire. The door swung open heavily as Sarzan guided 2 people wrapped with thick cloaks inside. He left them by the fireplace to pour ale for them. Oh, we got another... I think it's a wolf. We got another wolf and a tiger. Here you are. Drink it to warm yourselves. Lannis grabbed the luggage in and returned his overly tight coat back to the coat rack, which I then noticed was actually my coat. Jerk. I'll admit, I doubt my place will meet your usual standards. Any ports in a storm, as they say, Monsieur Boucoup. Just take it easy. I will try to accommodate you as best as I can. May I know your names, please? Lunik, Marcus Lunik Harlick, and this is my wife, Sola. A gray-furred wolf emerged from underneath the cloak. Snow clung to his messy but glossy fur, and his amber-orange eyes landed on me. I wonder if you remember me. Oh, certainly. You're the detective who resolved the crucial case for us, monsieur. Roman. Oh, yes, Roman, pardon. It had almost slipped out of my memory. Oh, gosh. I'm gonna try to do a French accent. I can't do a French accent, but I'm gonna try. He turned back to take off his wife's cloak before handing both to his servant goat. Sean caught the two cloaks and stood aside like a living coat rack. I guess nobles have short memories. Your room is ready. It's not exactly a suite in the capital, but it's clean and tidy. No need to mention, they must be staying in a double suite at the end of the corridor. Thank you. I simply must get out of these shoes. Sean, I think the claw of my heels came loose from the snow melt. Sarsen walked ahead with a suitcase in each hand and a candle held by his tail. The Marquis and the Marquise followed him up. Kane watched him go upstairs from his seat at the counter, fiddling with his pendant. Seems Kane's pendant had never been apart from him, though the color and scratches on it meant it wouldn't be worth much. Sarsen came back downstairs. Is there anyone here who doesn't have a room? Like me? Oh, forgive me, Father. Well, we have a nice big room left over. For the Marquis's servant. Oof. just a slap in the face to Heron. Oof. Heron's pout was so intense it was almost audible. As I'm sure you know, the warriors of God must keep away from worldly pleasure, which weakens them. That includes staying overnight in the inn's big suite. I suppose that is indeed the case. So I think it's all right. Vincel and Turvey came downstairs one after another. Turvey walked straight to the counter, took a seat beside Kane and Linus, and started reading a book like he was in his own little world. Before I could notice it, Kane had plucked the pendant off his neck and strode upstairs. The pendant swung about, the string of it twined between his index finger and thumb. I do say it's gotten much more lively, hasn't it? We don't usually have a packed house this late. Anyone care for a game? Sarsen took a length of blue flannel from under the counter and spread it on the table. If you have any objections to gambling, you can go upstairs and play by yourselves. Sean stood there at the table, looking longingly at the flannel before clearing his throat. Aw. I think he wanted to play. I must attend to my master and mistress. Good evening. Are you just gonna gawk, or are you gonna join us? Oh, yes, I'm coming. I sat by the makeshift card table. Sarsen pulled out. Oh gosh, I'm gonna save, because this you can mess up, boy. Oh, you can mess up, boy. Well, I guess I'm taking over the save files from the first one. Good thing I finished the game already. Yes. Let's have a simple game to warm up. What about guessing the suits? No problem. I've picked out 4 cards with different suits. Liangle, Blade, Chalice, Garen. Understand? I get it. Let's go. Yes, let's start. Alright. First guess which one is the Liangle. 1 to 4. I'm not going to redo this. If I fail, I fail, but we'll just see what my luck is. There is an achievement, I think, if you get all of them. I did get the achievement. I already got the achievement, though, because I kept reloading a save. It is hard, by the way. 2. Let's see. Oh, it was not the Liangle. I picked the second card. It was not the Liangle. And it's random. It is completely random. Seems you're wrong. Now let's guess which one is the Blade. I'm gonna say 3. Damn it, I failed both. I picked the third card. It was not the blade. Seems you're wrong. After 2 rounds, my petty cash had run dry. Harren concentrated his attention on watching the gambling. Even I couldn't tell if he was watching critically or just to enjoy. Let me refill my wallet, then it's time for a showdown. Fleeing to lick your wounds, detective? Gloat all you like, Hanzik. I'll be back to clean you out. Oh. Poor luck. Elegant was at the stairs. She raised her veil and smirked at me. What do you want? If it's not important, I've got a card game waiting for me. It is, and it is an important matter. She stepped back to the wall and backed away to the door of her room and opened the door. Is the mysterious act necessary? Very necessary. She shut the door behind me. Doing well. Are you still wearing a bell? What? Never mind. Before she could speak a whole sentence. Bang. With a crunching sound. Bang. The second one. Bang. The third one echoed at the tavern with a hoarse roar. What on earth? Don't worry. I guess it's just Kane losing his temper. He'll calm down soon to go cry and blame himself all night. Anyway, you were saying something? I doubt it will be that simple. We should check to make sure. Whatever you had to say seemed pretty important. Don't let me die of curiosity, please. Well, in a word. Bang, uh-oh. A deep sound. The sound was different than the last. It was like something heavy slammed into the ground. Something that probably weighed as much as a person. What happened? I slammed the door open, bouncing it off the wall as Elegant followed me out. The sound had come from the opposite side of the hall, Kane's room. I tried the doorknob, but it was locked. I thumped, pushed, kicked with all my strength, but the door wouldn't budge. Sean ran from the double door room in a hurry, a handkerchief in one hand. What happened? What happened? I think something happened to Kane in his room, but the door's locked and we can't get it. Locked? Sarzin rushed from the stairs when he heard that, trying to push through the rest of the crowded guests to fetch his keys. We can't wait! Sean backed up, bent his head down, and rushed to the door with his horn. My vision went black. The air was still. The sounds of choppy breaths and sobs slowly, gradually filled my ears. A scream sliced through the still air and echoed in my ears. No! He's dead! Oh, no! Oh. We're gonna end here. That is Kane. Kane is dead. This is a perfect time to end. I'm gonna end right here. We're gonna save. Oh, well, the first murder of the game, everyone. Now you get to see what this game is all about. The first murder mystery. Who the hell killed Kane? And he was a big guy. Like, who? Maybe not as big as Lannis, but... I hope everyone enjoyed, and I know everybody's curious, but this video's been going on for over an hour. We gotta end it now. But with that being said, if you really do like this VN and you want to see more of it, let me know by hitting the like button, and feel free to comment, as well as comment and subscribe to the channel if you want to see more and get notifications of the next video. But with that being said, this has been Fallenwolf. Oh! Till next time. Bye.